Alright, hello synthwavers around the world. Alonzo here from synthwavedojo.com, and today on episode 3 of the Let's Make Synthwave show, I'll be creating synthwave 100% live, starting with an 8-bar loop, and turning it into a 60 to 90 second quick and dirty arrangement. In this episode specifically, I'm gonna be creating music using only an Oberheim emulation for all my synth needs, and I'll also use the Oberheim DMX drum machine for all my drum sample use. Alrighty, this live stream is gonna last for around 2 hours, so get yourself a hot cup of whatever your favorite beverage, maybe a snack, because it's you're in for a very wild and fun ride. Thank you very much. I see Alex, Mick, Darkside, Wolfston, Synthwave Dojo community members here in the house. Thank you very much, guys, for your support. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Alrighty, let's get into it. Oh, and before I forget, I'm putting together a Synthwave Basics online course where I'm going to cover how to create pads, arpeggios, melodies, all that fun stuff. So if you're interested in that, follow the link in the description, and also head over to synthwavedojo.com/events. That's our events calendar where you'll be able to find, well, all the stuff that we have going on, like live streams and then any other group learning experiences. From there, you can sign up to receive email alerts and also add any events directly to your calendar of choice. Great. Let's do this. Let me see where my camera went. All right, there we are. Cool. So today, let's see what we're dealing with. We're going to work in the tempo of 120 BPM. The key is going to be G major or E minor. As you may know, there are two sides of the same coin. In any case, this is the G major scale, G, A, B, C, D, E, and F sharp. This is the only not natural note in the scale, F sharp. The chords from the G major scale are G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, and F sharp diminished. And here in brackets, you see the Roman numeral, what is this? The Arabic number that goes with the appropriate Roman numeral, just to know what what chord function or what function each and every one of these chords has. Today I want to try a triad over root approach or pedal arpeggio to our music, and let's just try to come up with some kind of progression here. I see Mick saying, loving some gritty DMX sounds. Yeah, for me, the Oberheim musical instruments are dark, thick, crunchy, especially the drums, and the synths are like very whooshy, thick. They have like a very specific tone that I like very much. They are very different from the sophisticated and sweet sounds of the Juno. At least the Oberheim, the synths could be akin, kind of like the Roland Jupiter, in the sense that they are both heavier 8 oscillator synths and awesome filters, very thick sounds, dirty and dark. You can get that kind of sound very quickly. So in any case, I just have a very simple drum beat here going on, just to get a sense for the tempo. I will circle back and program something differently, most likely, but for now, I have already added a few instances of the Arturia version of OBXA, which it's called OBXA. And here, this is the default patch pointing to Jump by Van Halen. And one thing is that I'll try to use only the original presets that came with the OBXA, and I'll see if I throw in my own or tweak a little if needed. So that's another thing that I want to do, just try to stay within the realm of the original presets. This one is not one of them, but we'll get to the to those presets in a bit. All right, at this tempo, we said G major or E minor, kind of the same thing, depending on how you focus your chord progression. And I know it takes a while to get started here, but there's a concept that I call the golden chords. And the golden chords for me are the 1, 4, 5, and 6 chord of any major scale. And in the case of G major, those would be G major, C major, D major, and E major, the 1, 4, 5, and 6. So you take these 4 chords and you can create any combination of them, 2 chords, 3, or the whole 4 chords, and you can create good sounding chord progressions without thinking about it. And I challenge you to come up with a combination, like a 4-bar combination of these 4 chords. Again, you can use 4, 3, or 2. That doesn't sound good, and send it to me. And this is, there's no way that that's going to happen. That's why I call them the golden chords. You just randomly take any combination of these 4 chords that you like, and you get a great sounding chord progression in like 5 seconds. In this case, I want to leave the 1 chord out, the G major, so I want to focus on the 4, 5, and 6, which are C major, D major, and E minor. So I want to create some kind of combination of those chords and create a chord progression. So that's our beat, that's our tempo. And let's see. Here's our C, D major, and E minor. Immediately, that sounds great. I told you, the golden chords. But let's do something. What about, that was a 4, 5, 6 move. What if we do something like 4, 4, 6, 5, like this? Oh, D major, 1, 2, 3, 4. I like this very much. So that's what we're going to use. And you'll see in these episodes, I just try to find something that sounds good very quickly and just run with it. There's no point in spending an hour trying to come up with a chord progression, because a chord progression does not make the track. What makes the track, at least for me, is the melody, creating the ride or the journey for the listener, the details, the emotion that you can capture. And yes, the chord progression plays into that, but it's like saying that only an adventure film is a good film. No, it can be a great horror film, it could be a great action film or an adventure film, a romantic comedy. It doesn't matter the color that the music has. What matters is that you are able to connect and communicate some kind of emotion to the listener, and that happens regardless of the chord progression that you use. Again, so don't spend an hour coming up with a chord progression. Spend 15 seconds just like I showed you, and then focus on some other stuff to give your music flavor, meaning, and emotion. All right, so with that out of the way, I'm going to program that bass pattern, or a bass pattern that goes with that chord progression, rather. Let me mute this for a second. Okay, and at this tempo, we could go both for or either 16th notes or 8th notes in our bass pattern. Let's go for 16th notes to make it more energetic and vibrant. So an important thing here first, okay, let me just plug in my notes. So we said C, E, then D twice. All right, is find the right place where my chords are, or the notes of my bass are gonna sound good. And I wanna find the lowest notes that still give me definition, power, and support. And this changes from patch to patch, because depending on how the patch is designed, I can't tell you if it's the C2 octave or the C1 or C0, again, because how you program the patch and how you set the octaves in the synth make a difference as to what notes you use here in your MIDI editor. But that's why I don't guide my decision with my eyes, like looking at which octave I'm on, but with my ears, okay? And the other thing that I mentioned is that I want to go with the original patches from the OBXA. And I think the bass may be the only patch that I will have to tweak a little bit or substantially. Out of all these, there was, let me see, I think there's only one. Let me do this. Okay, Vintage Factory, filter by type. We have 2 bass patches. That one, hard bass, is completely useless. This AC2 bass 1. Okay, we're gonna use this one as a starting point. And this is already in the territory of wanted to have a little bit more definition. So let me just take a look at what is programmed here for this patch. I see 2 oscillators. I don't like this sync here. Okay, now it seems like we're out of whack. Let me just deactivate the unison for a second. A fat line bass kind of patch typically is a sawtooth wave on the top and a sub oscillator set to square wave at the bottom. And okay, let me bring down this resolution. Bring down the frequency here, cutoff. Get rid of the full 4-pole filter and tracking for now. Now let me just check where we are. So I'm gonna set this oscillator to, or actually this one stays on square. This is gonna be my sawtooth. Okay, and just for now, because this may be an octave too low. All right. Okay, there's something really weird going on here, and I'm not sure what it is, so I may start this one from scratch if I don't find a solution in the next 30 seconds. Okay, let me bring down oscillator 2. Isn't it one of my mod wheels here or something? I guess I'm hearing a pitch drift that I don't like. You know what? Screw it. We'll build it ourselves from scratch. Okay, so we have our okay. This is gonna be my sawtooth wave. Here, we're gonna set the other oscillator to square wave. Okay, we're already in great shape. Alright, the other thing is the frequency on that original patch is somewhere around 30%, the filter cutoff, I mean. Here it's labeled as frequency, which is okay. And the Fatline bass patch from the Korg Polysix only has one envelope controlling both the amp and the filter. So we're gonna set them both the same in this case, since we have both, since we have 2 envelopes. And in the original patch, there's no sustain, just a little bit of release like that. Attack is immediate, and the decay's at around 35% or thereabouts. The cutoff around 30%, and the modulation or filter cutoff amount. Okay, and right off the bat, you can hear that we're in pretty good shape. We could use the unison here. The original patch doesn't have any detune, but what we can do is play with, and in this case now I think our octaves are too high. Much better. Okay, here, let's add some movement via these controls. And you can hear now how wide and flavorful it turned. Let's tweak the decay of this a little bit. We can make it more choppy and closed like this. Okay, to me, this sounds good. Okay, enough sound design. I think we will run with that for now and then come back and tweak it later. Cool. And if you're listening on good headphones and or speakers, you'll hear that there's a little bit of the oscillator drift created by the unison where the bass moves a little bit. That can be problematic in your mix, so there's ways to solve for that. I don't have time to show you what I mean or how to solve that, but we'll see later. In any case, let's turn this into a 4-bar loop. Let me get rid of this. For sure, again, very easy stuff. I'm gonna go with a kick on the 1 and 3. Gonna do that and then spice it up as needed. Cool. Then let's do an open hat here in the offbeats. Cool. Let's introduce a variation here on bars 2 and 4. Great, that will work well for now. I like how chunky and thick and dirty these DMX samples sound. What you can definitely do, you can hear a little bit of a like noise towards the end of the tail of this kick. You could use the volume envelope or volume shaper in your computer drum plugin to shorten the decay, to get rid of that if it bothers you. Sometimes it bothers me, other times it doesn't. Without it. Okay. Now we've lost a little bit of level there, but that's fine. We can compensate. I think it's much tighter without that tail anyway. I like it like that. Yeah, like that. Don't want to get rid of all of it. All right. Let's mix in the bass for now. Too loud. All right, that'll work. Now, where's my hats? Okay. Yeah, I soloed the kick. Forgot to get rid of that. All right. let's create a clip here for the crash. And while we're here, let's create a room reverb for the drums. I don't want to go crazy with it, so I'm going to create any reverb plugin that has some room presets. For example, this one, drum room. Just make sure that it's 100% wet since I'm putting it on a send or return or aux track. And I'll send a little bit from most of my drums into this room reverb. Just so they aren't so dry and in my face. Maybe even a little bit of the kick. Just a little bit. All right, nice. And we'll tweak as we go along. Next up, for this main stack, or 8-bar loop, we need additional musical elements. We need probably some kind of arpeggio, chords, or a melody. And like I said, I want to try some kind of triad over root or pedal arpeggio. So let's head over here, and I've already created a playlist of all the factory presets from the original that I liked. So I'm just gonna browse and play and see what I like. That sounds pretty cool. Okay. Okay. Very cool. I do like these strings, but I want something okay, let's see if we use this brassy sound, oops, to create some kind of arpeggio or looping melodic element. All right, guys, can you still hear me? It seems that my chat got disconnected. I don't know why. Okay, give me a second just to check if everything's fine over here. All right, I'll keep going then. Great stuff. Yeah, I lost my chat here inside of OBX. Okay, I think it's back. All right. So let me see where we're at. All right, here we go again. I want to create some kind of looping arpeggio, like pedal arpeggio, or a triad over root thing to play on top of my changing chords in the bass line. Maybe something like that. Or why don't we use this as our kind of pedal arpeggio or riff? You can barely see it here, and I'm playing D, F sharp, G. Then the next round I do D, F sharp, but then jump to A. So it's D, F sharp, G, D, F sharp, A, like this. But I'm just looping it a little bit with this little turnaround doing D, F sharp. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty synth-wavy. So let me program that in, because this kind of thing is going to be easier to do like that. All right, so here we have our 4 bars, and I was doing this D, and those are 16th notes. Dum, bum, 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 bum. Okay, cool. So 16th notes, like so. And let's see. Oh no, it's not 16th notes. 8th notes. D, F sharp, G, D, F sharp, A, and the little turnaround, D, F sharp, like so. Okay, now we simply duplicate this over. Sounds good. I'm gonna leave it like that, but send it to a little bit of delay because it's too dry like that. Yeah, immediately it sounds better. I think I like this one better. It has a nice rhythm to it. I like to filter my delays so they don't sound exactly like the original. Filter a lot of the low end and plenty of the high end, so they feel like shadow copies, not 100% carbon copies or clones. sounding good to me. And another thing I want to do is, let me create here a synth reverb, send, return, aux track, whatever. So it's simply a reverb that will be shared among all my synths. I typically like to have different reverbs for my synths and for my drums. I treat them separately and think of them separately or differently. For my synths, I typically go for very long haul reverbs like 4.2 seconds decay or 2.5, depending on how I'm feeling that day. And for my drums, I will typically go with a room reverb, at least for most of the elements, and for the snare and toms, occasionally or very often, a completely different reverb, like a gated reverb or something that has a lot more flavor. All right, so this synth verb over here, dry wet 100%, decay 2.8 seconds. Let's bump this up, that's fine. And just so, you know what, let me enable filter after the reverb. Some reverbs tend to add a lot of bottom end, and that's terrible to have low end in your reverb. So always make it a habit of filtering out the low end from your reverb. It doesn't matter if it's your drums or your synths. You will create a lot of clarity if you do, and contribute to muddiness in your mix if you don't. Yeah, around 240 hertz or something, it's going to be fine. So here's my ARP channel, send to the synth reverb. Not so much. All right, I like that. I like this. Let's find another element. Maybe something, because the ARP is very, I would say has a medium attack, like a trumpety or brassy attack, which is kind of soft. We could go for a sound that has more attack to contrast that sound. If all the sounds or the elements in your production have a very similar amplitude envelope, meaning they all have fast attacks and no release, it gets hard to pick them out from each other. So it's a good practice to think about contrast as you're putting elements into your arrangement. So if I have an element that already has a brassy kind of soft attack, then I want to add something that has a very fast attack and maybe more stabby, more staccato to contrast that. So this clavinet sound could work, or something very soft. Yeah, maybe. Okay, let's see what we find here. I'm trying to stay away from the brass sounds. Oh, this edge piano is a great sound. I know I get derailed sometimes. This is just like so much fun. Okay, I think I liked this one. Like on its own, it doesn't sound good, but in the arrangement, I think it'll work fine. Oops. I'm gonna go with this plugged keys clavinet. Okay, I'm hearing a lot of options here. Or let me just try to find some kind of chord pattern to introduce a little bit of rhythm. Yeah, let's try that. So our progression was C major, D major, E minor. All right. Let's go with that and see where it takes us. All right. So this is going to be our chords. And whoa. What happened there? I don't know. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's take a look at the MIDI. Cool, but these notes here are too short. Okay, you see here that if I drag them, they are too long. And if I drag them the other way, they're like too short. That's because of the snapping in my quantization values here, what I'm going to do is disable snap to grid, so I can just pull and give them whatever length I want. And now that I have unsnapped, let me see here. I don't need them to be exactly the same length, but sometimes if you have like one node like this longer than the others, it will tend to stick out. So just a tiny difference doesn't matter that much, but big differences could. In the words of Depeche Mode, everything counts in large amounts, my friends. Very true. Very true. Everything counts in large amounts. Cool. Now, the other thing that I want to do is set the velocity to be the same. I'm not sure if this synth is following velocity, but in any case, this is more a rhythmic part. I want it to be a little robotic. I don't necessarily want it to be felt as played or performed by a human. Okay, cool. Now, a couple of things are that we can soften this up by sending it to a chorus. Nice. I love the width and the swirliness. Yeah. And of course, send it to our synthverb channel. Okay, I like that. Okay, we're in pretty good shape here. Let's see, what else can we do? I think we have two parts introducing movement, which is great. Now, maybe we can create one or two parts that that play longer notes, more sustained, again, to contrast all the movement created by these two parts that we already have. So maybe we can create some kind of pad or supporting element. And I think here we had some very cool things to play with. think here towards the bottom. Oh man, this is a great sound. I could go on for days just playing these factory patches. Nice brass. But we already have brass. Okay, so we said some kind of... I just get sidetracked like every 30 seconds. My god. Come on. Alright, I said some kind of pad or string. Well, let me just then go with the one. Was it that one? I don't remember. I think yeah, like so many options here. I think I'm gonna do what I did there at the end. And again, on this keyboard, it's very hard to see, but I'm just playing a G major chord GBD. Then I'm lifting my finger from this note and playing this one, turning it into a G sus2 chord, back to the regular G major, and then back to G sus2. That's all I'm doing here. And it sounds glorious. So I'm gonna go with that. Okay, so it's this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to remember what I did. Let's go. Okay, I could go from G major to G sus2 every 2 bars, or alternate every 1 bar, like this. Or every 2 bars. So it's a little more mellow. Let's do every 2 bars. But, where am I? Okay, here. But G, I'm pressing down for the entire duration of the thing. Only it's B and A that I'm alternating. So that and that, like so. And we could add some sidechain compression to this thing. Whoa, what happened there? I don't know. More volume shaping than sidechain compression, to be honest. I just want a little bit of this movement, not the entire thing like that. Send it to the synth verb. All right, cool. Okay, I like this where it's at. I think I'm only gonna use these three melodic and harmonic elements. I don't think we need more for this quick and dirty arrangement. So we have the ARP, the chords, the pad, maybe something else, but for now I'm gonna leave it be. And what I do want to do is, okay, first of all, well, no, I'll do that later. I want some kind of a collapse pattern here. Okay, let's do something like that. Where am I? Here. This one will do different. And go back to what we know. Let's send a little bit to the room reverb. Some delay. Okay, so that's the clap. I think it's fine where it is. We'll tweak all of this later. So the groove crash toms, we definitely want one or more drum fills. This is our main stack. Okay. Here's something very simple, like 2 beats and a half in the off beats. Boom, 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 boom. Something simple. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Like that. Boom, boom. Yeah, I like that. That'll work, but I can barely hear those toms. Toms are panned, tom 1 left 62%, tom 2 in the middle, tom 3 low tom 62%, the opposite of tom 1. That'll work. Now the only thing I want to do here is I'm gonna use a VCA channel so I can control the level of all my toms at the same time. You can create a group or whatever is easiest for you in your DAW. I can make the volume envelope of these toms tighter and also play with the tuning so they stick out a little, just a little bit more. Yeah, that'll work. And let me try with making the envelope shorter. Okay, I think that'll work. Now they sound a little wimpy, but what I can do is create here a Tom's reverb channel. And like I said, I like to do this kind of thing where then I'll set some kind of specialty reverb or something different than the room reverb that I had already set up for the rest of the drums, because I do want the toms to be just a little special. So I'm going to send them all to my toms verb. Cool. Here I love this plugin. I'm going to go with a Phil Collins or 80s or whatever preset that I find. Yeah, I'm gonna leave them just like that. Okay. It's like I'm lacking a little bit of definition in this bass. That does sound like a cool intro, right? Actually, I'm gonna use just that for the intro. That was very cool. Okay. I'm not too happy with the bass, but it's alright. We'll find a solution for that. And I'm not sure why. Okay, but that's fine. We'll keep making progress here. All right, so here's the point where we're done with the composition part. I'm really happy with how this main stack is sounding. Let me just play it back to back a couple times. There's some things in the mix that I will fix later. Overall, it's got the right energy. Yeah, those toms are too loud. The clap, possibly too, but that's fine. For now, broad strokes. And I like our elements here. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, guys. I'm gonna take a 2-minute break, get some coffee, and come back. And then, during the second half of this episode, we'll turn this main stack into a 40-bar quick and dirty arrangement. So I'll be back in 2 minutes. Take a quick bathroom break or get yourself a beverage that you love or a snack or whatever. I'll be back in 2 minutes, my friends. All right, my friends, we're back. back in the saddle. Have my coffee, a little bit of water. And like I said, our intention and our goal over the next 50 minutes or an hour is to turn this main stack into a quick and dirty arrangement consisting of 40 bars. Now, this seems very similar to a 40 bar arrangement that I have shown before called a main kata in the Synthwave Dojo lingo. And yeah, I'm following the structure. However, to create a basic kata or a formal 40 bar arrangement, I would need to spend, I would think, between 2 to 3 hours just getting all the automation, the effects, and everything to really call it a solid 40 bar arrangement or a main kata. Now, I don't have 2 or 3 hours to do that, so I'm gonna, like 80 for the 20, create a let's say a quick version of that 40 bar arrangement and see how much time allows us to make progress. In any case, I'm going to use something very simple, 5 sections, and every section is 8 bars long. We're going to start with an intro. We're going to start our track somehow, right? That's the intro. Then we're going to go to a different section or another section called the verse, the groove, whatever. We're just going to build on top of the intro and get things going. Then we have the chorus or drop, whatever you want to call it. And here's where we're going to have like our main interest or the main melody. After that, we're going to go to the bridge. The bridge, think of it as an alternate section, just something different than the chorus and different from what we've been listening to before. Kind of like to cleanse the palate or to do something interesting that we haven't heard before. And then we will head over to the outro. And for these kinds of arrangements, I like to do my outro the same as the intro, but the opposite. For example, if I fade elements in or filter them in during the intro, then for these exercises during the outro, I do the same, but just fade out or filter out, right? Because I don't want to complicate myself too much. And most of the time, I would say the outro is not too important because you're just releasing energy and trying to send the listener off. The intro may be more important, but for most cases, you should just get things going for these kinds of examples, right? We're not going to get too picky about it. And what I almost always do is I take my main stack, these 8 bars that I created, and I'm going to copy them over into my chorus section or main section, whatever you want to call it. All right. And from here on out, we're going to make some decisions as to what is going to play where. I really liked having the bass on the intro with the tom fill like kind of there looping. I don't know why I like that. Let me see if it works. If not, of course, I can always get rid of it. Okay, so let's say that 80-20, this is our intro. Okay, then on the verse, of course, I want to keep going with the bass, but I want to introduce my drums, the full pattern. Okay, and during the bridge, I also want my drums. During the outro, I'm not sure at this point, but I know that for the bridge, I also want the bass. And like I said, the outro is going to be the same as the intro, but the inverse of that. Okay, so very easy. This is how we're going to roll with it. And I know that... let me turn this into like a 1-bar clip, just so it's easier to see zoomed out like this. Okay, I want to crash on every major 8-bar section change, like this, like this, like this. Okay, and I want a tom fill definitely at the end of every 8-bar section. Now these toms, I think I'm going to have to write at least another fill because we heard the same fill here 4 times. Well, if this stands and makes the final cut. In any case, I don't want to always hear the same fill, but okay, let me just write that down. So here our progression was C, D, actually E minor. Okay, things to do. Okay, another drum fill. I would do more, again, if I we're investing 3 hours into this quick and dirty arrangement. For now, I think I'm just gonna do one more. So I want to do that. The claps, I don't want the claps to play everywhere. Okay, so maybe the chorus and the bridge. Again, broad strokes, quick and dirty, 80-20, 80-20. We're not agonizing over all the details at this point. Then during the verse, one thing we can do is we can have the ARP play during the verse here, but filter it in towards the chorus. Okay, so I'm going to write that down just so I don't forget it. Filter in ARP during verse to chorus. Okay, that's that. Now, where will the chords and the pad play? What we could do is maybe try having the pad halfway here through the intro, and the pads will play through here, 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 and maybe the chords, we'll save the chords for the chorus and for the bridge, and the outro, same as the intro, but the inverse of that. Maybe we can have the pads playing longer. So I think this is a good approach. From here, we'll tweak to our liking. All right. Let's see where we are. Let's take this section by section. Okay, this tom fill, I want it to be different, so I'm just going to paint it a different color. And a 40-bar arrangement goes by very fast. And the idea of doing this is learning to create a cohesive arrangement, creating a great experience for the listener in a very tight and controlled environment. A full-length track will typically have between 100 and 120 bars, and it's very hard to go from an 8-bar loop or main stack and arranging 110 bars if you don't have the experience. Kind of like I always like to say, like running a marathon, you can't go from running 1 mile to 26 miles or 1 kilometer to 42 right off the bat. Even though you want to do that, you have to train yourself and develop your skills and your abilities, your heart, your mind, your body to get there. So these kinds of arrangements for me are like a great stepping stone to get to being able to deliver to develop our skills for a full-length track. So the sections, they do go by very fast, and that's okay, right? This is a quick and dirty thing. Okay, here, let me write another tom fill. I always like to sing my fills. I don't know why. Just easier for me to write them that way. But now I lost where I was. Give me a second. I need just a little bit more, like a pre-roll. Yeah, I want my fill to start somewhere here. Yeah, I like it. Alright, we'll come back later to this intro, because I do feel the pads, the volume needs to be higher. But the problem is, yeah, I'm just going to do that right now. What I can do as well is filter this thing in. Any filter plugin you have will work just fine. Doesn't have to be as fancy as this one by Cable Guys, which I absolutely love. Okay, so now I'm going to automate the opening and closing of that filter. Okay, yeah, that'll work just fine. One thing that I would like to do is have like a filter sweep towards the end of every major section, so any synth that you have with that offers a noise oscillator will work. Doesn't have to be this one or the other. I just know some of these synths very well and I know what they have, so it's very easy for me to drop them in on a whim. So this is going to be my noise, and I'm going to create a clip here. And noise, it doesn't matter what pitch you're using. Okay, sub. Yeah, was not doing what I was supposed to be doing here. Yeah, no, there you have it. And I like to use chorus and other effects on my noises, so they just sound spacey and different. A little bit of resonance. And let's use the delay. Let's get rid of plenty of the bottom end that I don't want. Okay, cool. And what we will do now is automate this frequency control. Where am I? Alrighty here. Okay, this filter is at the top. And I want the filter to be closed and open. Just a bit of a click here. Okay, great. By turning up the attack here, I got rid of that clicking or popping sound. Cool. All right. Maybe it's too loud. Okay, I like that. That's cool. So let's copy this thing over to the end of every major section, like so. Okay, so we have our noise sweeps there. Maybe we'll need reverse crashes, maybe we don't. Okay, and now that we're at it, what we can do is get rid of this tom fill. Whoops. That tom fill there. So we alternate between these two sounds. Okay, cool. Now, in this case, I don't want to end with this same tom fill. So what we'll do is, if I reverse it, okay, I'm gonna create a different tom fill here. Just use a different color for me to visually know where I'm using what. Let's do something more straight. Yeah, that'll be fine. That's okay. All right, let me get rid of this. Cluttering up my view. Same here. Okay. So I think the intro maybe what we can do is pull the bass back a little bit. And mute these first notes. Okay, almost. Then we can go back and re-enable these notes. Yeah, I like it. So for now, I think that'll work. Just take another listen. Okay, I think that'll work just fine. And just as a mental reference for me to get it off my mind, I'm just gonna call the intro done. Now the drum fill already did this, filter in ARP during the verse. Okay, that's fine. So we have the intro, we have the verse, we have the chorus, we have the bridge, and the outro. So I'm gonna call the intro done for now. Let's head over to the verse. Or actually, let's work on the chorus first and get it out of our minds as well. I'm not liking it, it's too cluttered. Let me mute these elements and get some clarity. So for sure I want my ARP, without a doubt. And this is the part where making music is much taking away as adding stuff. Okay, so I definitely like this. Let's hear the pad. I like the pad and the ARP. The pad is creating a nice bed for the ARP to lay on. And what about the chords? I feel like the chords are cluttering up this part. And again, it's a lot of fun creating parts, and then you want to fit them into your final arrangement, but it's often the case that, again, it's more deleting and taking away than what you put in. So I think I'm going to get rid of the chords during the chorus, but leave them during the bridge because we haven't heard them before. And sometimes you have to be ruthless with these decisions. Not everything that you create makes the final cut. That's the hardest part, because we want to fit everything that we created, but it not always works. Okay, and I feel that the level of the pad here is interfering with the ARP. So what I will do is, remember that I set the level of the pad because I wanted it to be high during the intro. So I'm going to automate this thing to go lower during the chorus, and we'll see about the other sections. I think a good 3 dB. Maybe even more. definitely. If I mute it, it feels empty. With it, we have it there in the background, but I don't want it like stealing the thunder from the ARP and cluttering the arrangement as well. Now let's do this. Let me rethink some of these level choices, because I feel like things are a little out of whack. I like to set my kick to -6 dBFS and the snare very close to that, or just a little louder. And this way I can anchor all my mixes so they are consistent from one to the next. Okay, this sounds cool. What's kind of bothering me the most is the bass, I think. Okay, what I'm definitely gonna do is compress this thing or even limit it a little. It has some amplitude fluctuations that are kind of annoying me. Oops. Okay, this is an LA to A emulation. Any compressor limiter is gonna work. This one just has very simple controls. It sounds very good on the bass. Okay, great. And even what I may do here is this bass has a ton of bass frequencies here, which I'm filtering out. And I think it also has some other places that I don't like. Like here, the amplitude, you can see how it's rising. That's one of the side effects of using unison in the bass, and it gets more stronger on certain synths than on others. Okay, so I want my bass to be stable. Not to eat up all my bandwidth. Okay, right there. For now, good enough is good enough. Okay. Now I feel like the pad is just a little low because I changed my mix here. Okay, that's fine. I like it. The toms could be just a tad higher. Don't remember if I... Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna set the level of the toms for the chorus and automate elsewhere if needed. Yeah, I like it. So let's do this. I'm going to call the chorus done. Let's work on the verse now. Remember we said we wanted to filter in the ARP during the verse. So let's do that now. Filter shaper. Same deal. Automate the cutoff. I don't want it to start too soon. So somewhere around here, I do want to be able to hear it. So I'm going to create a point. There we go. And tweak this curve the other way, or maybe linear. It's taking too long, so make it faster like that. Maybe start just a little bit earlier, like so. And maybe, just maybe, like this, so it doesn't open up completely before the chorus. Now, these are the kinds of details, like I mentioned, that can take a very long while to get correctly. That's why doing this main stack or this basic kata 40 bar arrangement, doing it well, could take you 2 to 3 hours of tweaking the automation lanes, the envelopes, this and that. But let's keep going. It's still coming in like too abruptly for me, but I'm just going to tweak it one more time and leave it like that because it doesn't really matter. Okay, better. Maybe leave it even a little bit more close. Okay, fine. And yeah, I think that works well. So I'm going to call the verse done. And this is how we make progress with a lot of focus and intention. And as we write the word done next to our sections, it's like I'm releasing a burden of my mind. I'm not thinking about them anymore. So we have the bridge and the outro. Let's tackle the bridge now. Okay, this is fine. However, I think we need something a little extra for this section, something with pizzazz or flavor. Let's see. Or I could just kind of hack it and for example, if I used like a rhythmic filter or some kind of transgate, I could give the part a lot of interest and movement, and maybe with some chorus and flanger, which is something that I really like to do a lot, I can kill like 3 birds with 1 stone. So let me do filter shaper here. Okay, but I'm gonna go with one of the rhythmic. That's kind of cool. What about I want something with a little bit more movement, which I'm kind of having a hard time finding here in the presets, but that's fine. Maybe one of these stepped. Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah, let's go with this, but maybe not so much. Yeah, I like that. And why not give it a little bit of delay? Now that's more like it. Yeah, and what about maybe a little bit of flanger or phaser? I think this is kind of neat. Yeah, that'll work just fine. And so it doesn't sound so naked, we can maybe program in something different for this pad. Yeah, exactly that. A. Then D. Hold on. This D twice, like so. Okay, now the level of the chords. I think that's fine. Now the pads are too wimpy. Now it's like I'm missing some delay on this pad. I like it. Okay, this will work just fine. So for me, the bridge is done. Let's now work on the outro. Okay, I just wanted to see what I did here. So it's the pad that is filtered in. So here I'm gonna filter it out about halfway. Yeah, maybe there, yeah. I like the ending. So dry. But, where's my effects? This, you can copy it over to here. Just so it's not so jarring, the end. Yeah, that'll work. Nice. Let's see what else here. Okay, one thing I feel I need to do is that the toms... Give me a second. Sorry for that. Someone knocking at the door. That's what happens when you make music live. Okay, Okay, so I was saying the toms sound now too loud for me when they're playing in a sparser section, like the outro, possibly the intro. So here's my toms VCA. Let me pull it down beneath the toms track, and I can pull this down. I would say a good 3 dB maybe. Maybe a little less. Yeah, better. And those are the details that make the difference. Everything counts in large amounts. Alright, let's do the same thing here on the intro. I don't remember the values of that, but we can do it like this and kind of eyeball it. Alright. Maybe it's still here a little too loud. I feel the pad here could be just a little louder. And here towards the end, I think I do want the pad to be louder. Yeah, maybe not so much. And again, these are the tiny details that I don't have time to painstakingly solve, just as some other stuff that I'm hearing as we go along. Cool. All right. Let's see where we are. I think I can call this done. Just a quick visual check. Okay, maybe towards the end of the chorus here, I can pull the drums back just to make the transition count a little bit more. And let me do the same thing here. Okay, that's fine. Those two little things. Have the intro-verse chorus bridge. I think overall, I'm very happy with where we are. Let me just take another sip of water. We will do a playthrough of this thing without me saying anything. And then we'll call it a show. I'll come back and say goodbye, guys. All right, so here we go. And if anything needs adjustment, I'll do it along the way. Here goes nothing. 3, 2, 1. cool. Overall, I felt like I was losing a little bit too much energy here during the outro, but that's fine. And now that I think of it, I would have liked to give the crash some stereo ping pong effect with reverb, but that's fine. I think this will do for this show. And let me come back and see if there aren't any questions here, which I don't see. Alrighty, so there you have it, my friends. We went on this journey together. 2 hours ago, this music didn't exist in the world, and to me, that's what I love about making music. The power of making music with focus and intention. This didn't exist. It exists now. Maybe it's not the best thing in the world. Definitely not the worst, but it doesn't matter because we're developing our skills. We're practicing. It's like going to the gym. Imagine if you did this same exercise 30 days in a row, or at least just the first part, creating a main stack or an 8-bar loop. It will do wonders for your composition, production, and arrangement skills. Alrighty, so I hope you guys found this useful. As always, let me know if you have any questions or comments. And keep synthwaving, my friends. Let's keep synthwave alive. See you in the next one. Ciao.